สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome back to the session. The second session of today. All the information and the presentation slides, including the list of speakers, will be available on the BOT Events application. So, and the summary of each session in Thai language will also be available.
ครับและสำหรับเซสชั่นต่อไปนะครับจะกล่าวถึงอนาคตของแพลตฟอร์มทางด้านการเงินครับโดยที่จะพูดถึงทิศทางและความเป็นไปนะครับน่าสนใจมากครับ
Next session will be about all-in-one e-platform, future solutions for SMEs. We get great honor from Kun Dechapol Lamwilai, SVP of Payments and Disruptive Technology Office, Siam Commercial Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our moderator, Kun Dechapol Lamwilai ค่ะ
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests. So it is an honor for me to be your moderator for this session on the topic of all-in-one e-platform, the future of SME solutions. So as a brief overview of the session, so as you may have imagined, digital technology has become a very important integral part to the world of commerce and have been transforming the way of doing business nowadays. Online channels or digital platform have become important touch point between sellers and buyers. The modern all-in-one e-platform, which combines online payment, logistic, and stock management into one seamless network, could be an emerging opportunity or challenge for both SME and consumer. So will e-platform become the future solution for SME and consumer? What are the challenges and risks involved with e-platform? The top name in e-commerce, payments, service, and banking will share the insight on these topics, as well as the impact they currently face. So please give a big round of applause for our panelists. Start off with Kun Tiwa York, from the CEO from Kaidi.com. Kun Somkid, Jiranuntarat, Chairman, Kasikorn Business Technology Group, or as we know, KBTG. Dr. Rohan Mahadevan, CEO of PayPal Pte Limited and SVP for PayPal Asia Pacific. Kun Punnamas Vichitkulwongsa, CEO of the Ascent Group. And last but not least, Kun Pipavin Sodprasert, Thailand Country Manager of Ant Financial Service Group. Okay, please take a seat. So many familiar faces. So without further ado, I'll start off with the first question, and this is to Dr. Rohan. So what would be an ideal all-in-one e-platform from your point of view?
Well, thank you for that, and thank you again for having me here. I do notice that I am probably the only one not based in Thailand, so I wanted to perhaps take 2 minutes to just share with everybody a little bit about PayPal, where it's at, and then kind of how we actually are helping SMEs sell on social and making sure that we give them the opportunities of accessing global consumers. So I have a few slides I wanted to just take you through. The first one is about PayPal. We are a company, a global company. We have consumers and merchants, so we're a two-sided network. And last year, we processed about $451 billion in payment volume globally. In about 200 countries, we have 207 million consumers, 209 million active consumers, and 18 million merchants globally. A lot of the merchants are also, we have about 100,000 or more merchants actually in Thailand, which are selling to these 209 million consumers around the world. Mobile payment volume, as you all know, is growing really rapidly at about 50% more every year. I think the important discussion here, coming back to the platforms, is right now we've seen a massive change of how merchants are selling, especially small businesses. And one of the things that they're selling a lot on right now is social media. And this is just an example of one of the merchants here and how they are actually accessing and selling on social media. So somebody comes in, they see a bag that they want to buy, and they actually start a communication with the merchant on social media. What then happens is this typically, you text message back and forth and try to find out whether things are going to, how much it's going to cost, how much the bag, et cetera, is. And this is an example of a customer asking how much the bag is. The merchant replies saying, yes, it's about 60,000 baht. And the customer says, can you send me a payment link? And we have a solution for social media where the merchant, in this case, Authentic First, creates a handle called paypal.me, text messages, paypal.me, Thai baht 6,000. The person receives it, he does one click, and the transaction is complete. The reason why this is really important is the minute the conversation ends. I mean, how many times have you gone to a market, you have a conversation, and you say, I'll come back, right? You never come back most of the time. And so this is to make sure that you don't say, I'll come back, okay? But you actually complete the transaction when you're engaging with your customer. And I think one of the most important things here is it's not just the payment, but it's also the protection, the services, and the help that you get in a solution like this. So it's not just a money transfer without protection. So if something goes wrong, PayPal takes care of the solution. And I'd just like to end with, my team is over here in the back. And this is the reason why we all get up every morning, because we make a big difference to small businesses and individuals in Thailand and around the world. And these are two examples. I won't read the details, but these two individuals wanted to start a tailor shop, of course, and also selling rooms. And any individual cannot accept credit card transactions or bank transfers from 200 countries around the world within 30 seconds. And I think that's where PayPal comes in. It's about the small businesses. It's about enabling them to accept what is the lifeblood of anything, which is money. And these two individuals or these two companies have gone from 0 to 300 people in Chiang Mai, to over 26 rooms in Phuket, because they had the ability to actually accept these payments from anywhere in the world. So I just wanted to provide that perspective as to the different platforms and where we are as a company. So thank you.
Thank you. And Kun Somkid, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here this morning with all the experts here. Before the session, I got a chance to talk to all of these people. They are quite expert on the area that we are talking about today. And I'm so glad to have learned a lot of things this morning. When talking about platform, everyone said that they want to be a platform. And at least they are saying that at least they said they want to be a platform. Why people want to be a platform? Actually, platform is a meeting place between buyer and seller or service provider. What platform would like to do is to help buyer buy better and help seller sell better. In that sense, that means provide the buyer with a lot of choice, right? With selection, with guideline, with recommendations, so that they can pick up the best choice for them. For the seller, we will provide seller with opportunity to sell better, to have the opportunity to reach the buyer better, and also have opportunity to expand business. For the platform, another view is that the platform integrated all the services that necessary for both buyer and seller. For example, the platform may provide an integrated service by themselves, Or if they don't provide by themselves, they can orchestrate the service with the partner or with the with any third party that they work with. And also, they can do the matching, right? The platform also can do the matching, match the goods or service to the appropriate buyer. For the banking platform, what we see is that banking provide banking service and payment service. For other service like logistics or providing other goods and service, we orchestrate. And also what we can do in addition to that is we can provide the matching service. To do the matching service, we need a lot of information, right? People coming into the platform, they do transaction in the platform. We have a lot of information so that we understand more of the customer, then we can provide them with the matching service. Buyer go to the platform for one-stop service. Seller go to the platform for probably it is easy for them. They don't have to build the infrastructure by themselves. They just plug into the ecosystem. For the seller, they have a lot of opportunity to sell better, including the right timing to expand their business. For the platform, another thing is that I think it's easy for people to join the platform and get benefit. But the ideal case for the platform, I think number one for the good platform is to have the traffic. The platform without traffic, no one wants to go to, right? For example, in K-Bank, we have the K-Mobile Banking that have right now 8 million customers on the K-Mobile Banking. We said, if we want to platform, what should be the number of active customers? 8 million may be too low, right, to building a good platform. We are looking at 20 million in 3 to 5 years. If you reach 20 million in 2 to 5 years, we'll be able to attract good service provider. You'll be able to attract customer to come in. Another thing for the good platform is to have a machine learning capability. With all those data coming in, you need to be very intelligent in order to understand the customer inside, in order to recommend them, right, what they should do, and in order to provide good solution, not just the financial solution, but probably life solution for them. So those are things that I think crucial for the good platform.
Thank you. Very clear answer. And also, Kun Punnamas, anything else would you like to add on top to that?
Sure. I'll quickly tell 1 minute about what Ascent does. Right? Many of you may not know that Ascent has operated a consumer brand called True Money. Okay, so I'm from True Money. Our mission is to enable everyone access to innovative financial services leading to better life. What we do is we position ourselves as a financial service platform connecting large active user base, and we target the underserved two groups, digital consumers and the so-called unbanked and underbanked. Then we connect them with the service providers, starting from payment service provider, online, offline, in the future, lenders, investment companies, insurance companies, so on and so forth. At the heart of it is about data. We want to be the ones that facilitate the meeting or the transactions of buyer and sellers by providing value adding from the data that we collect. And the way that we do it is through the 3 channels. For digital consumers, we do through mobile applications. For unbanked populations, which is predominantly outside Thailand, that we do it through agent network, right? So these are mom and pops agent that we sign up as our own agent, and we provide them with tools to do transactions on the behalf of users. And then we have kiosk machines, just like ATM, but these are the kiosks that provide the payment transactions. Today, we are in 6 countries. Headquartered in Thailand, we went out to Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Philippines, Indonesia. Last year, we processed about $5 billion in transactions volume. This year, we project to process about 9.6 to 10 billion US dollar in payment volume. So to the questions of what makes a great platform, right? What does platform do? Platform is facilitate transactions. So Kun Somkid point out many great things already: traffic, buyer, and seller. I'll add on top of that is that how can platform add value to facilitate this better? Can we provide guarantee to the buyer and seller through escrow services so that they have confidence in doing transactions? Can we release the fund in even faster than what they were to do in other means, right? Can we provide insurance for goods that to be shipped from seller to buyer? And then for seller, if they don't have enough financing, if they don't have enough working capital to grow their business, many of the SMEs may not be qualified for the traditional bank loan, right? It may be they're not qualified, too slow, too cumbersome for them to get. Can we provide real-time financing for them, because we see transactions that's already happening through the platform that we participate in? So it's about enabling this transaction, facilitate transactions to happen, and connecting the dots throughout, whether it be on the meetup of the buyer and sellers, the payment, giving confident insurance, and then financing on the supply chain, and facilitate logistic to make this happen. And you know, my colleague here from Ant can tell you a lot about China afterward.
Yep. So yes, that's actually going to be my next question to Kunchan. What are the impact that the e-platform has made on the commercial industry, especially the use case that you have that in China? Would you be able to share with us a bit on that?
So as you know, right? So from the start of our platform is really from the Alibaba Group. So it's really the marketplace trying to help. Our mission is to ensure that everyone can do business easy across the world. So what the start of the concept was to matching, like, allow this SME to be able to have a platform or like the marketplace to be able to sell to the right buyers. So with that, actually, it is the start of everything. So for us, is what is the need of our users, which is both the SME and the consumers. So we realize that a lot of these SME, they are not like the large corporate. They want to sell the business, but they cannot handle about the payment. They have issue with logistics. They don't know how to manage the inventory. And so over time, that's how we build. So we start off from a marketplace. We realize that the issue is with payment. So that's why we start Alipay. Then afterward, we know that logistics is also an issue. We start like another business called Cainiao. But all these businesses are all actually a platform in itself. So after, I think with the establishment of Alibaba, we have enabled a lot of like the SMEs, like a new business, to be able to grow there and start the business actually in China. On top of that, also like the users who used to be in a lot of remote areas that they don't have really all these shops or the retail like space like what we have in the big cities, they are able to get all the goods that they need. So that was like the all-in-one platform for the Alibaba. Then when you move to, after a while that we set up this platform with Ant Financial doing the Alipay as like the platform that focusing more on the financial service, we also realized that on top of just payment, the customers also have, or the SME themselves have other financial needs like borrowings or even insurance or investment. From the Ant Financial perspective, then we are the platform to connect the financial institutions to our users or our customer. So for example, when we do lending, we actually work with a lot of 200 plus banks in China to be the one to help them to distribute this lending to the users. Maybe they're in a place where the bank doesn't have the branches, the smaller bank, or like the insurance. Because we understand our customer need the best, so then we help them to go talk to the insurance company and say like, oh, they need some kind of this goods insurance or like the inventory insurance. And then we help them to negotiate with the bank or like the insurance company to provide the right product and service. So I actually also a win-win that we help the financial institutions to grow their business by expand to the new segment of the customer that they never touched upon before. And this segment of customer who might never get an access to the bank, where they're mostly situated in a more developed area.
And would you also be able to share how do you embed new technology advancement into the platform itself, maybe on big data, AI, machine learning, all those buzzwords that we know about? How do you take that into practical use?
I think that is also the benefit of having this platform, right? Because I think previously the way that the tech company or actually this technology is the bank or financial institutions always use, but typically it's an IT vendor who come in and make it for one bank, right? But then I think we just flip the coin and say we are the one who provide this technology as a platform. And so with the experience that we work with multiple banks, we work with also the users. So we actually stand from the user side and try to really understand all the user, doesn't matter which bank, right? This is what they need. But we also have the capability to also invest in this AI, machine learning, the blockchain, the security and the risk. And with the large data and the large user base, then we do have the resource to really optimize our technology that would fit the needs more for the user side and not only for the certain bank that maybe from the providers, they primarily the profit would be the goal, right? But we are standing from the user side and say okay, these are the technology that actually the user would need.
Thank you. And coming back to Tiwa, since you are one of the leading marketplace in Thailand, would you be able to share what you think are the important key elements of a successful and also sustainable e-platform?
Well, so I guess maybe I want to go back to the headline topic, because when we talked about it, we talked about all-in-one e-platforms. And that's quite a large term, and the reality is nobody can be all-in-one. I really like the story that Kun Jan from Ant Financial just shared, which was we piecemealed, bit by bit, grew this over time, and a lot of times working with partners. So if we talk about more locally in the Thai market, if you looked at for a place that I could go as an SME, it's going to take care of all my needs, does not exist. There is no one place. It depends upon what you want to accomplish. And the difference is this: if I'm a B2C business, I'm selling to consumers, then I have a certain set of needs. If I'm a B2B business, I have a different set of needs. And you can't have one that applies to all SMEs because the SMEs have different requirements for their own business. So the reality is, my advice to the SMEs would be, first of all, figure out what it is that you're trying to accomplish from this platform that you need. Actually, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for consumers. Where do I go? And I need to be able to manage e-commerce. Well, okay, let's talk about just in Thailand alone. You have places like Tape Shop, LNW Shop. They provide this service, right? And they work with the partners. They work with each of the payment providers here. They work with the banks. They work with logistics companies to help bring you together. On a more global scale, maybe it's Shopify. I need to bring in Shopify. And these are the tools that the businesses have built to try to facilitate SMEs. Because what happens is this: if you go into a marketplace, say, we'll take locally Lazada, you're kind of stuck into their ecosystem. But they're not the only ecosystem. You also need to be on AliExpress. You also need to be within Tarat.com, or you need to be at We Love Shopping, or you need to be at 11th Street, or you need to be other places as well. So you need this platform that can plug you into these places appropriately. And they're going to solve a certain portion of your business. They're not going to solve everything. You need to choose the right tool for the right job. I can even say that for my own business. We're a technology company. I spend a lot of money purchasing technology to answer my customers' needs. So we don't build everything. We make a choice between build or buy, even as a technology company. I have a whole team of engineers, and we decide what core pieces we actually build and what pieces we don't, because it's not core to my business. I look for partners. For example, payment, I'm not going to solve payment. The people up here are going to solve that for me. And those are the people I will partner with to bring that service to my customers. And if you look at it from the buyer or the SME or the seller side, only thing that matters is simplicity. How easy was it? And people always ask me, Tiwa, you in Kaidi, do you guys know Kaidi? Most of you, yeah? Okay. So we're a generalist marketplace. We are not e-commerce, and we won't go to e-commerce yet. The way we look at the world is we look at the world, look, trade has been happening since the beginning of mankind. It's just the absolute basic of the social nature of humans. Therefore, the only thing Kaidi does is opens up a marketplace so you can access an audience you never knew you had. And that's the simplicity. In Thai, we'd say, that's it. And the simplicity of it is what we focus on. And then we very carefully pick partners for what pieces will help facilitate that simplicity. And so when we look at the all-in-one e-platform, yeah, there's pieces that need to come together. And if your job, and the only thing you're looking for is for your SME to sell more online to your consumers, then there are a lot of solutions out there. If you're looking for a B2B play, let's say you sell medical equipment, guess what? That's much more specialized. You're going to have to go find other tools for that. And particularly in medical devices are regulated. There's actually a lot of control, and your actual end consumer is, the end customer is totally different than, say, Alibaba or Kaidi or Lazada. They're very different. And so I think it depends upon the use case and what you're trying to accomplish with your all-in-one e-platform. But if you're a business and you're just trying to get started, there's a couple tools that I recommended. If you're a bit bigger, then you should go to places like A-commerce, or you go and talk to some other players in the business that are trying to aggregate and bring together the pieces to make it easier for your business.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is to Kun Punnamas, maybe a difficult one. So given a joint venture partnership between Ascent Group and Ant Financial, and also the recent acquisition of Lazada from Alibaba, what's your plan in Thailand? Would you mind sharing that with us? I'm sure the audience is dying to hear that.
Yeah. Well, our plan is very simple and can share to everyone. Is to grow the largest active user base, right? As a platform business, what does matter? The matter is that there's more people that are engaging with our platform. And our definition of platform, it doesn't mean that everyone has to come to our app, our website. We are hoping that everyone is using payment through us, right? And payment, it doesn't just mean our cash wallet, but payment we link to various banks, including K-Bank, SEB, everyone's. So, and why is it wallet is very important? Because that's where it's contained, just like our human life, right? We are born with two basic platforms in our life. In the modern day. One is the communication platform, we communicate. The other one is that our wallet platform, we leave home without wallet, right? We cannot leave home without wallet. We cannot leave home without phone first, and now without wallet. So by owning the wallet, we can help facilitate the users and the merchants in many, many ways. So our plan is very simple, to grow the biggest, largest pool of users who use our wallet payment. Now, with Lazada and the Alibaba family, and just yesterday you may have heard announcement that the Alibaba, I think, put in another $2 billion into Lazada, right? And Alibaba chair lady, Lucy, is now the CEO of Lazada. And that will make the integrations of Lazada and Alibaba even tighter. And that will enable us being a part of the family to help customers of Lazada facilitate payment. And more importantly is the SMEs that selling on whether it be Lazada, and also we're working with other people too to make that facilitations of transactions much easier. Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of the pain points for SME that are still not yet met today? And basically that's what you're looking to solve.
Right. Yeah. So we seeing SME depending on the segment, right? The one segment is SMEs who selling online. Yeah. And we call it on the formal platforms like the like of Lazada, and then informal social commerce platform like Facebook and other chat messaging like Line. Right. So we facilitate the payment starting from by being a source of fund so that our customers can easily buy goods from those SMEs and sellers. On social commerce, we provide person-to-person transfer payment, right? And we will do more starting from payment. We already doing escrow account to give confidence, and we will soon start lending to both sides. To the seller side, working cap lending, and then to the consumer. Let's say you want to buy the next iPhone 11, right? don't have enough money, no problem, because we pre-qualify you. So it helps facilitate the transactions to happen.
And since you mentioned you have footprint in like 6 countries around CMV region, is that also an opportunity for Thai SME to look at?
Yes, yes and no, right? I mean, depending on if Thai SMEs really want to sell overseas or not, we can help facilitate that. But a lot of our business outside Thailand is enabling the underserved in those respective countries to be served, right? In Southeast Asia, there's about 620 million people. About 60% are considered unbanked. They don't have any bank account. So imagine all their life they live with cash. And about 80%, right, of 180%, 60% of them is unbanked. The other 20, they may have saving account, but they're not qualified for anything beyond saving account, right? So we serving them through our agent network. And speaking of SME, our agent is a micro SME. They set up shops. They are mom and pop shop owners. And with us, becoming our agents, they earn extra income. So in Cambodia, which is the first country that we went in, we enable our agents, and I always tell the story of Som. Som is our agents outside the city of the Phnom Penh, right? And her husband, just like many of family, go into the city to work, to send money back home as a construction worker. And after about 3 months, he stopped sending money back home because he go drinking with his construction worker friends. So Som is left with 2 kids, being a single mom now, right? And she become our agent. Within 6 months, Som earned about $250, where the average income of Cambodian household is $91. So within 6 months, Som earns 2.5 times more than an average household income. Importantly, Som has dignity, so she doesn't depend on her husband, and she can feed her family. And these are the micro SMEs that we want to enable. And now we are extending loan to Som to open up the mom and pop shops to enrich her communities. Yeah.
Okay. And Kun Somkid, given that KBank has, I remember from yesterday's session, 1.5 million SME in Thailand. So what are some of the pain points that KBDG is looking to help solve?
Glad to hear a lot of good story from Kun Punnamas. But we look at the pain point for the SME, especially the small SME. I think number one is cost of starting and doing business, especially expanding the business. Secondly is the liquidity to run the business. And thirdly is the marketing cost and effectiveness. For the customer pain point, I think they may face with unreliable product. They may face with no guarantee on delivery, or they may face with inconsistency in services. In our platform, or the platform that we want to be, we have right now 8 million customers on the mobile banking. 8 million customers, it is about 600,000 million baht buying power. Right? If you have ability to match all those people with the goods product that we want, so it's another business model. Because we look at this, that we can match anything to them. We are not marketplace like Kaidi, but we would like to work with a lot of marketplace, that this is another opportunity to help the merchant to sell better. And at the same time, we can help our customer in our platform to buy good product, to have a good deal. This is what we call buyer marketplace, right? With machine learning capability, with the data that we have, I think in the past, we have tried on 2 projects. One project we call machine commerce. We have tried since February last year, but this is a trial period because we haven't got any approval from Bank of Thailand at that time. So we tried it with our employee. On the Valentine's Day, we sent roses to some of the people that we think would like to buy the rose. For some people who never buy roses before, on that day, because of the offer just right pop up on their face on the mobile banking. They just use just one click, right, to buy the rose, sending to someone, putting the address in with some of the message that they want to send. And we have tried on a few more products, especially agriculture product, and also some other product that help small business. Another project we work on is on the financial product. We call it machine lending, right? We provide personal loan to people that we think would like to have that kind of loan. And with that kind of offer, they can, if they're interested, they can choose their own term of payment, right? Either 3 months or 36 months, or they can choose amount of money, right? Starting from 30,000 baht to 500,000 baht, up to the person that we offer the range of the loan that they can borrow. With this kind of scheme, if they agree on the term and service, if they click agree with the contract, less than 1 minute, they get the money right away, right into their account. So it will help them, provide them with very quick liquidity to do business and also to expand the business. In order to expand business, if they do transaction in the platform, we'll be able to understand their business very well. And we know that this kind of business can expand at the right timing. Then we can offer another loan, business loan. So this is another, I think, opportunity for us to help small business grow and to help a lot of people to start a new business, a new small business. Even some students, right, in high school or in university, they can start very small business on a part-time basis. With this kind of scenario, I think the Thailand economy will prosper because people will feel that it's very easy to do the business, to start the business.
Thank you. And Dr. Rohan, so the next question is basically, since PayPal, you've probably been working with merchant and also consumer for probably longest on this stage here. Would you be able to share with us on how you think and how should the e-platform actually help supporting them scaling up their businesses?
Yeah, sure. I think the essence of any the oxygen, if you will, for a scuba diver. Scuba diver needs oxygen to stay alive. I think the same oxygen for entrepreneurs, small businesses, is money and making sure that they can get the money as fast as possible. A minute is amazing speed to actually get a pre-approved loan, which is really fantastic. In addition to just getting the money and not having it in escrow, but actually receiving it and putting it in their bank account and having, and being able to use it as capital to buy goods and to sell more, etc. It's the safety of the platform that's also what's very important. Because a lot of the times what ends up happening is you as a buyer, say you're sitting in Europe and you're purchasing something from a gemstone, say from a Thai merchant, and you need to know that it's not just sending money into the Thai merchant's bank account, but that if something goes wrong because it gets lost in the mail, for example, or it's the wrong item that was shipped by mistake, then you need to know as a buyer that there's somebody who will actually keep you whole and keep you protected. Because if you don't know that, then you're not going to make the purchase using that payment option from the Thai merchant. So the safety of the platform is very important. Equally important is making sure that the Thai merchant, when they sell and send that diamond or whatever to the gemstone to the European buyer, needs to also make sure that the buyer is not cheating them. So that when you as an honest Thai merchant is sending that good to Europe, and it is received, and you've shown, I have shipped it, this is my stuff, and if the buyer says, no, it hasn't come, then PayPal will protect the seller as well. So you have to protect both the buyer and the seller against a bunch of fraud. There's fraud, right? There's buyer fraud, there's merchant fraud. Those are the two areas. And then there's also bankruptcy risk, right? I can be selling you a bunch of things and then I go bankrupt, but the buyer's already paid for it. So if you take all of these kinds of situations together, the payment system that you're using has to be considered safe for both parties. Otherwise, you will not create commerce, right? Then it'll just be like a wire transfer where you don't have any recourse. And so just to give you a sense, and the good news about when something goes wrong, if something goes wrong, is that you have the data to then make sure it doesn't go wrong again in the future, right? And so PayPal, what we do is we actually invest about $1.5 billion every year in paying out buyers, in paying out sellers, and in trying to in making sure that our systems are safe. So that's the kind of risk investment that we make. And I think that's what's really important in fueling commerce, whether it's through a social platform, a classifieds platform, an AliExpress, an eBay, independent of where it is, you just need to make sure that it's safe.
So security and safety. Yep. Okay, and Kun Tiwa, so how do you think the all-in-one e-platform can help enrich a good experience for the customer?
Again, I want to take the SME point of view on this. So ultimately, when you look at these all-in-one platforms, you just want your customer to have a good experience with your brand and your product, and that matters. So the platform should help facilitate that. And then you've got to look at where you sell your item. So first key is, where am I going to find my customer? And then what tools do I use to facilitate the transaction? And that doesn't matter if you place your item on Kaidi, or you put it in Instagram, or you put it on Facebook, or you put it in Lazada, or you put it anywhere else. That's just acquisition of your customer. And then the e-platform should facilitate the experience for your customer through that process. And it really depends upon your product as well. I mean, it's one thing to be selling let me step back for just a second. Everybody in Thailand, when we think of e-commerce, we only think of Korean fast fashion, we think of cosmetics, and we think of mobile phones. That's it. The reality is, online commerce, for example, we're talking about gemstones here. Talk about my platform. We do 2 to 3 million keyword searches per day on Kaidi. Number 11 keyword searched. Most searched term in 2017 was rot thai, tractor. Okay? So to give you an idea, this stuff, people are trading everywhere. I've got a customer in Songkla. He owns a chicken farm. He sells moon kai. That's chicken droppings. He sells it as fertilizer. He doesn't sell it by the bag. He sells it by the ton. And he only sells it one place, Kaidi. Okay? So we get stuck into this world of thinking it's only fashion, cosmetics, and mobile phones. That's not true. My top 5 categories, rotyon, motorcycle, so cars, motorcycles, property, mobile and tablet. Number 5, auto parts. Number 6, prat kleung, Buddhist amulets for the foreigners. And so I think, when you look at this, that's just my marketplace. I'm just one channel for you as SMEs to access customers. Why do customers walk my market? Because I'm a talat, I'm the biggest talat, not in Thailand, right? Why do people walk Lazada? They walk there for a certain expectation. Why are they looking at Facebook in looking at these places, or looking at, or even offline, Sense of Style, SOS in Siam Square, right? So they're going to these places for a reason. But for the SME, the platform that you build needs to facilitate some sort of facilitation to make it easier for your customer. And my advice to all SMEs is, don't try to solve all problems at once. Pick one. Just pick one. And go, okay, I just want to go out and find my customer, but that's only one part of it. Next, okay, wait a second. My customer is actually sitting in Germany. Payment, PayPal. I'm going to solve PayPal. No, my customer is sitting in China. Oh, wait, I need to go talk to Alipay, right? I need to get Alipay signed up with me. How do I do that? And it's picking one piece at a time when you think about which tools you use for your business. So,
thank you. So, Kun Punnamas, so what would be some of the obstacles for building out the all-in-one e-platform from your perspective?
Yeah. so the first thing first is that what's your objective, right? You know, just continue from Tiwa point. You need to know your objective. If you are the seller, he spoke about the seller SME already. I'll speak from the platform provider. Why do you want to be a platform, right? And do you really want to be a platform? You know, because being a platform, there's no such a thing. Well, it's extremely difficult to be all in one platform. Okay, the platform is mean a place where you connect all the parties together to facilitate transactions. So you need to have a clear positionings where what type of platform you want to be, and then you want to be a platform to sell branded goods, like the shopping mall, or you want to be flea market, like Kaidi is, right? Or you want to be the SMEs to see, like what combinations of Lazadas and maybe Shopee is. So you need to know what type of platform you want to be, and make that your core positioning, and really look through the value chain. How do you facilitate that segment to have transactions, right? And then have the partnership mindset, connect all the pieces together. Some of the platform provider thought that they can do all-in-one to integrated user experience by control everything. In my opinion, in this day and age, that's the wrong way to go, right? You won't have time. Remember, there's many people try to be the platform, okay? So you won't have time to build everything. But what you need to do is to control the core experience, and then work closely with your partner to make that experience the best possible. One good example, I think Line Man, many of us may use Line Man, right? Line Man is, for those that haven't used, is a food delivery platform, food delivery service.
Actually, can we ask me, how many of you use Line Man?
Okay, good. That's more than half of the room, right? So Line Man is a clever service, and I give credit to them. Line Man doesn't own a restaurant. They don't own a fleet. They work with a company called Lala Move, which they can work with anyone, right? They don't even have a sales force to go out and meet with any restaurant. They work with a company that provide content called Wong Nai, and they put it together, and they facilitate this with the user base that they bring together. So in day one, they have all the street food that you can imagine. I do a big favor to my wife. I told her, honey, I'll buy you the best Chinese food tonight. Right? And she was shocked. It's like, hey, why? What's wrong with you? And I just used Line Man to buy, the best food. I wouldn't get out and stand in queue for half an hour just to buy. But you see, Line Man is very clear that they want to be the best food delivery service platform, food ordering delivery service platform for any food, right? For any food, right? And any food means including street food. And then you got the like of Food Panda, where they're very specific to only the restaurant that they negotiate with. So my point is, the key obstacle, first start with the number one questions. What's your objective in being the platform? What do you want to do? And to answer that, you actually have yourself, why do you want to be a platform? And obviously, on top of that, then figure out what your strength to build the platform, and put together the right partnership to make this core experience happen. Yeah.
And Kun Chan, maybe anything else to add to that? Since you seems to be the one who is doing everything in China in terms of Alibaba and ants.
I think Punnamas has already put very good suggestion for anyone who want to build this e-platform. I think that's the most critical thing, is to think about why do you want to be the platform, right? And I think earlier Kun Somkid also mentioned about being a platform. One of the most important thing is that you have to have the traffic, you have to have the users, right? Because I think the platform in a way is a concept of being a market, right? So if you have a market where no one go, then that you don't have any other means to deliver all this service to the people. So I personally believe at the end, the platform would be for any specific objective. Maybe at most it would be 1 or 2 platforms for each type of service, right? With the size of the Thailand, right? Or even China. If you look at the top platform, there would be for each category maybe 2 to 3 max. Then that's why when you are able to identify what is the right target group, like Line Man, then you create a new, completely new categories. But if you just see, oh, Kaidi is doing very well, let me be the fifth platform there. So maybe that wouldn't be the right path to go. Yeah.
Actually, let me back that up. On a strategy level, we definitely look at it as there's usually one clear winner, and the market can usually sustain to a second and maybe a third player. But usually in the platform business, it's either the winner wins, and it's a winner take all business. And it doesn't mean that you can't have a second or third player, but that second and third player usually don't make much money. And so when you go for the platform business, this is why you see big companies and putting massive amounts of money behind it. And you hear like Lazada putting an extra $2 billion into Southeast Asia, right? That's a huge number. And the reason is because it takes deep pockets to play in the platform space. And that's the way myself and my shareholders, we look at the world as well. To say, look, we want to win in the category for that platform and whatever it is. And each of these gentlemen here look at it the same way. It's either you go to win it and you look at it going, I want 20 million users in the next 3 to 5, or you just say, you know what, forget about it, I'm going to back out. Chao papi.
I'll give another example that linked to Ant as well. In China last year, 2017, right, the top 10 FinTech, the number 1 in China is Ant Financial. The number 2, 3, 4, and 5, the number 2 is Zhong'an, which is an insurance company, right? 3, 4, and 5, I can't remember exact Chinese name. But all 2, 3, and 4, and 5 is leveraging on Alipay platform or Tencent platform, right? They're very clear. They don't want to be the platform themselves. But ultimately, what's the business? The business is about, you earn enough revenue and enough profit to feed to solve pain point of customer and feed your people, right? So they leverage on the Alipay platform for Zhong'an. And because of Alipay platform, they don't need to go out and acquire 400 million active customers. Right away, they have 450 million customers from Alipay platform. And what they do is then they tie themselves, they create specialized insurance product. We have people who buy from Taobao for 1 renminbi, from 1 yuan more, that it's secure, right? If it's broken, it's all secure. And just with that one product alone, their market cap, this Zhong'an become highly, revenue is, I think, in billions of dollars now. And certainly their market cap is in tens of billions of dollars. So the point is that you don't need to be a platform to create value. You need to pick what you want to be, and then pick the right platform to be on.
Okay. And Kun Somkid krap, so from a bank's perspective, so what are the biggest challenge faced by the bank, in dealing with this competition from, many of these guys? Of course we're friends, but on another hand, we also competitors in a way.
This is very complex and sensitive question to ask. But I try to answer it anyway. Bank is very big, right? Maybe too big, a little too big. And bank is very old, right? Bank maybe almost 100 years old. With big and old quality, what you have a lot of resource, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of people, but you are a little too slow. In this new digital world, the winner, we have to be very fast. So if you run bank in the traditional way, so it's like you are a good old rich man, right? You cannot survive. So how to change the bank? You need to change first, I think, the mindset. We need quite a few younger generation to blend in, especially digital native. We need a lot of talent, right? I travel a lot to US. We have people travel to UK to recruit people coming back from US. We go to top university. At least I go maybe twice a year. Next month I will go as well. In January I went already. Next month I will go another round. So I think to attract talent to come in and work with us, with new younger generation, I think very important. Secondly, I I think bank need to move a lot faster. We cannot move in the same old pace, same old speed. We cannot survive with that. We cannot work in the big bureaucratic organization with a lot of committee to decide what to do. That's the old days. Right? For the new way to do business in the digital world, I think you need to have the front line that can move very fast. The front line doesn't mean only technology people. It does mean business people as well. In K-Bank, we have business people who focus on digital business and work very closely with technology on the day-to-day basis, on the agile manner. We have people from business sitting together with IT, define the problem, right, of the bank on the day-to-day basis. In the old day, you said, okay, IT guy waiting for business to give you requirement, right? And then once you get requirement, you go back to business. And then it's back and forth, right? This kind of method we call it waterfall. But nowadays, we cannot do that anymore because a lot of requirement coming from technology side. A lot of technology aspect or the new way of doing business, you have to understand technology to a certain level. Then you know the implication of the technology. For example, the new technology on machine learning, the new technology on blockchain, the new technology on API, the new technology on biometric, the new technology on a lot of HCI stuff like human-computer interaction. Those are technology that I think management need to understand so that we can see the implication of the technology and we can find way to come up with a new service for the customer. I think this is the whole new world, right? We cannot doing business the same way that bank used to do. Otherwise, I think we may not be able to survive.
Yeah. Actually, there is one question from the floor, and it's regarding, the thought about bank as a platform itself, being the e-commerce, versus bank as a financial enable. So what are your thoughts on that?
In my view, I don't think bank would like to compete with any e-commerce. I think we can complement each other. What we would like to do is we would like to satisfy our customer. Right? We would like to please them so that when they come into our platform, the platform may be different from other people's definition because our platform we serve only to our customer. Right? We would like to understand the inside of the customer. We would like to understand what their needs are. We would like to understand their life problem. We would like to understand their journey so that we can find total solution for them. And total solution, it doesn't mean coming from us alone. We have to work with a lot of partners, right? We have to orchestrate the solution, the total solution to them. Like in China, you have two big platforms, right? You have Alibaba and you have WeChat. Those also going to address the life solution for the customer, right? For people who go into the platform. Likewise, I think we need to focus on the customer, right? First, I think we need to build capability on technology. Second, we need to be able to attract good people, especially younger generation. Thirdly, I think maybe the most important, we need to focus on the customer. The customer change because of the technology. The behavior change, right? The thinking change, expectation change. We cannot stay the same old way. We need to understand, need to focus, and we need to serve them.
Okay, thank you. And so we have been talking about all the plus side, the good side. Maybe we can talk about the downside a bit too. So Dr. Rohan, do you think there are downside risks to the all-in-one e-platform, and how do you think, we can mitigate those risks?
I just follow up with what some of my colleagues have said before. Is I actually agree that it's very important to make sure that you know who your customer is, and so there is really not all in one platform. I think the way I would say it, it's very similar. I mean, if you rewind back to 1999, right, and you start. I mean, some of the early classifieds sites were Craigslist in the U.S. that started off. Then you started having the Yahoo searches. Then people started listing and started to advertise. Then people started building their own e-commerce websites. Then you had platforms like Shopify who came in and did it. And then you have the AliExpresses, the eBays. And you now have the Facebooks and the WeChats and the WhatsApps and the Lines, etc. So it's just like there's a portfolio of places where customers, consumers, spend their time of their life, right? So I think they spend time on these areas. And quite frankly, if you want to sell something to them, you need to be where the conversation is, not where you want the conversation to be. And I think that's just the reality of the situation right now. And so I think everybody, just like you have financial investments as a portfolio, you have to have places to meet your customer as a portfolio discussion, where it is really about where the customer is spending his or her time that you need to be present on, and not try to create an ongoing destination. And I think that's what the reality is right now. And I think that's where, I think it is about distribution and trying to be in as many places as possible. With focus, of course. You can't be everywhere. So you need to figure out who your customer segment is and where they spend most of their time, and that's where you need to be. Whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, you name it.
And Tiwa, anything else you'd like to add around that area, the downside or the risk?
To extend that, I think a lot of times us as businesses, we get narrowly focused on who our target segment is, and we go, oh, I'm not going to put my brand there because that's not my target group. Let me give you an example. I was talking to Colgate, and Colgate said, no, I don't think my target audience is online. I said, you mean people online don't have teeth? Tiwa, let me ask you guys a question. As business owners, point at yourself. When you point out, said, I don't think my target group's there, you're pointing at yourself 3 fingers. But you are. Why don't you think your customer is? So go figure out what you're doing, and likely you're going to be doing what your customer is doing. It's an easy way to think about your business. And I think the other piece of advice I give is don't complicate it. Know who your target segment is. Try something. I think for businesses, we overthink things, and we get stuck. We go, oh, that sounds so complicated. I don't know. Do I need a programmer? Do I need to, oh, let me go ask my nephew. Let me go ask my, let me ask you, how do we do this? It's not that complicated, but pick one. Don't overcomplicate it. Decide that instead of trying to solve all the problems of your business, start with step 1, build to step 2, build to step 3. All of our platforms were built like that. We can't, because as platform businesses, you have the problem, you have chicken and egg problem. So you always start with one piece that you try to build first. And then you test that. And you go out, just like as Somkid said, they have to learn from their customer. And so we've got to go out there. If we have to go through bureaucracy to try to get something done, it will never happen. And so I think this is the danger. And the downside of the platforms is they try to throw so many features and functions at you because they're trying to solve problems. I think if you just pick one and say, actually, you know what? I would like to access, I would like to make it easier for my global customers to pay me in Thailand. I heard Kun Rohan talk about PayPal today. Oh, I would like my customer to be able to remit payments easier. Oh, I heard PA talk about this today, right? I heard Kun Jan talk about China, right? I talked about Somkid talk about their ability to offer personal loans. You just pick that one that can help your customer and start there. If you try to solve it all by this whole world of digital, you're going to kill yourself. Everybody talks about how e-commerce is killing retail. It's impacting retail for sure. But remember this, even the most sophisticated markets in the world, China, for example, is what, 17, 18% of total retail trade. In the United States, yes, you only hear the news about 30% of Target stores get closed. But the reality is, in the United States, only 13% of retail trade is happening online. So it's not killing the world. It is facilitating a piece of it and making it good for your customers.
So I'll pick one question from the floor as well, and I'll ask you. So is cybersecurity and data protection the responsibility of the e-platform or the merchant and SME? Tough one.
Yes and yes, both. There's no doubt about it. The platforms have a massive responsibility, and this goes back to the point of trust that Kun Rohan was talking about. Us as platforms, we have a huge responsibility to the safety and security. But on that, we also have a responsibility to our merchants to make sure that they understand their part in that responsibility as well. So the platforms have a huge, huge, huge responsibility in that. We cannot let that go. There is a place of safety and trust. And let me talk about mine. Does fraud happen on Kaidi? Yes. How does it happen? Always the same case. ผู้ซื้อโอนเงิน they transfer cash without ever seeing the product. They don't do a meetup. That's always the same case. And the truth is we always give them warnings, but there's only a limit to what my platform can do as well. And so there's some things that we try to educate and we will help. But as a platform, we have a deep responsibility. And in fact, for any government officials, I am very supportive for us to pass our personal privacy laws that are sitting in the Sabha right now that we need to get passed because they have not passed and it's been sitting there for a year. And we need to get those passed to get better security legislation into the Thai market to help facilitate Thailand 4.0. Without that, we will be stuck at 0.4 forever. Okay? So, I mean, these are the topics that are very core topics for the Thai market. And we do, as a market, we need to take security and privacy more seriously.
Good. I'm sure regulator, there are full of them in this room. They will hear your thought and make sure that we're not 0.4. Okay, coming to the last question. So I'll, Kun Pipavin, so given the dynamic change of environment and technology, what do you foresee as the future of the e-platform in the next 5 years?
This is for Thailand primarily, right?
Yes.
I actually see like with Thailand 4.0 that the government is trying to pushing, I see a big kind of awaken, like all the players in the market is actually embracing and try to some way somehow develop and like adapt yourself to the digital age. So I do have a really like high hope and good expectation that for Thailand that to move toward this digital 4.0, I think the pace would be much faster than we have seen in the past like 10 years. Let's talk about like Bank of Thailand, right? With this recent like the prompt pay initiative, and also all these try to move the society to the cashless, and that is how to move the transaction from the offline to online to the e-platform. And given that that is the core basic human interactions that happen on a day-to-day basis, with that infrastructure putting in place, we should be able to see fast adoption of like the new e-platform that would serve different lifestyle aspects quicker in Thailand. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question to the panel?
Sure, please.
And it's going off of that, which I'm a big supporter. I think Prompt Pay is a great initiative, but we also have several e-wallet businesses sitting here. Where do you guys see the mix between Prompt Pay and e-wallets? Will Thailand skip the whole e-wallet thing, or will it and just go straight to Prompt Pay, or will e-wallet still have a place in the Thai commerce? I know for international that's one piece, but in the local Thai commerce, can you guys give us your viewpoints?
Yeah, I'll give my viewpoint first then. It's that they're not competing, they're highly complementary, right? Now what Prompt Pay has a number of initiatives, but at the core of it, it's a proxy to make it easy for people to identify the other party, right? And at the end, you still send money through whether it be source of fund bank account or source of fund e-wallet. Right? So it's a huge, compared to in the US has this thing called ACH, right? The Prompt Pay is a similar thing, or India has this thing called UPI. With UPI, it's enabled e-wallet to do a lot more as well, right? So Prompt Pay is not making the e-wallet obsolete. In fact, in my view, it's make e-wallet even much more powerful, right? Now, I think the key thing, the important thing, and it's touched on regulator as well. In the age of Thailand 4.0 or digital transformation age, the role of regulator has to be balanced, right? meaning that do not overcomplicate things, do not overthink, but not too lightly as well. Find the right balance. Sometimes regulators try to overcomplicate things and make the baby not born. Okay, you kill at the prematurely because you think that he's gonna be the adult, and so we have to protect him like this, like that, like that. No, let him born first, right? Let him get born first. But at the same time, the player, the baby need to understand regulator as well. We can't be coming out and shout to the whole world, trust me, and then you end up causing, as a player in the market, cause systematic risk to the country. So there got to be a fine balance there. And I think one keyword is agile thinking, right? What is the minimum viable product? And I think regulators need to adopt the agile mindset as well. What is the minimum viable product to let the baby to get born, right? And you always have the caveat that we will revisit the policy. So let the baby get born. Let him be a grown-up first. And now I will regulate you more, right? So don't kill the baby prematurely. At the same time, regulator always, and I used to live in Singapore for 5 years. I know you guys do business in Singapore. And one of the things that Lee Kuan Yew is very famous for, use common sense, right? Don't use tradition, use common sense. Right? Open for debate and use common sense to regulate, right? Policy can be changed. Don't think that policy is written in stone. And let's come back and revisit it. And I think that's my view, and I would like to share that. Now, in order to have common sense, one must have knowledge, right? And when it comes to technology, it's complicated. It can be complicated, and some people try to make it overly complicated. So I think I also understand regulator that need to have someone who have deep knowledge about certain things and trying to find the right balance so that the baby can grow. And the baby will come back and pay tax for sure.
Great. So help save
Let me add a little
regulator.
bit on PromptPay. I think the difference between the old way of doing business, we use the account, and we just introduced PromptPay. The difference is that in the old way, we address account. We have to know the bank, and we have to know the account. But for PromptPay, we address the person, right? We just know the address of the person. Either it could be the citizen ID, it could be telephone number, or it could be e-wallet, whatever. Addressing on the e-wallet and account, I think in Thailand, if you are e-wallet provider and you want to join PromptPay, you need to have full KYC, similar to account. If that's the case, it's no need for e-wallet because it's too difficult, right? But if we want to provide e-wallet for unbanked, for underprivileged, I think we need to look at the way to have the easy onboarding, right? Maybe there are certain amount of money that you can use or can transfer, but you can address the huge problem that we used to have for unbanked. Because in the past, unbanked don't want to go to the bank because too complicated, too difficult, right? But if you already have e-wallet, how can we use e-wallet to solve the big problem for the country?
Thank you. I vote Somkid for the president. Yeah, but I think it's very refreshing to hear from a banker to speak like this. Thank you.
Okay, and Dr. Rohan, also anything else you'd like to add on top on what you think would be the future of the e-platform?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would just follow up on the comments made. First of all, yes, you're right. There is UPI in India. Pay Now is happening in Singapore. I think the banking infrastructure, the speed of sending money from one account to the next is going down to zero, right? The timing is speed. And speed used to be a big problem before. But it's not only about speed, as I mentioned before, right? I can send money from my bank account to yours, but if I'm sitting in Germany and I'm trying to send it to the person in Thailand, and I send the money immediately, who is going to protect that transaction? That's really important. And that's where the wallets come in, because the wallets, they don't necessarily have to store money, but they have to make sure that they're providing, for the lack of a better word, insurance policies on transactions, right? So There's buyer protection, there's seller protection. We've just now introduced travel protection. So when you buy something using PayPal as an example, that transaction, if you choose to cancel it, then we will actually pay you back for your trip. So these are all services and value added that come on top of the payment. It's kind of like there's a platform, and then there's the application layer. And the question is, that's where you invest your services, right? Are you going to provide quality service or not? So I think that's one thing. So I don't think the e-wallets are going, even if you don't use balances, are going anywhere as long as you're providing security, safety, and services as opposed to just speed. Speed is not going to cut it anymore. I think the regulators are actually realizing this. I mean, we were just talking before the meeting, and the speed of digitization that's happening, especially in Asia, is something like I've never seen before. I mean, there's a huge initiative here in Thailand, of course. The Singapore regulators are doing a massive push. Regulators are now starting to have sandboxes where you can operate and make sure that the baby is born, right? And then not kill the baby before that. And so so regulators are also starting to take, be very forward thinking in saying, okay, with this criteria, up to these many users, with these kinds of transactions, you can go ahead and I'm not going to worry about you. But as you become big and you have much bigger impact in the society, you have to be regulated. Where I think things can go is in the implementation of the KYC and the policies to be not based on 1990s or 1960s technology, but based on the fact that now, somebody was talking to me, with an iPhone 10, I can get face recognition, fingerprint recognition, and access my device, and I don't have to provide any kind of phone number, etc. Why can't I use that to walk through immigration? Right? I mean, these are the kinds of questions that I think we need to start looking at, because the technology exists. And I think we need to be in a sandbox open enough to bringing that technology into the day-to-day lives, which is then it'll help speed things up.
Thank you. So we're running out of time. So of course, know your customer, know what you are trying to solve for them, operate at speed, and of course, regulation, safety baby. So that's all for this session. Big round of applause for all the panelists. Thank you.
Oh, wow.